Oi oi girls and boys and everything in between, it's Ace Trainer Liam, and you know what? There are just some Pokemon that are just stupidly overpowered. Like, even when a Pokemon is supposed to be legendary, or it's supposed to be mega evolved, or anything like that, some Pokemon, even then, just have a lot more power than they really need to be able to wield. Some of these Pokemon are even banned from competitive play because they just possess too much power. Way too much power. A stupidly, absurdly huge abundance of power. What I want to do today is I want to take a look at some of these Pokemon and give you a list of which 10 are my favourites of that bunch. Let's count down my list of my top 10 favourite stupidly overpowered Pokemon. Number 10, Mega Kangaskhan. This is the kind of Pokemon that on first glance you take a look at it and you think, Kangaskhan? They gave Kangaskhan a Mega, why would they do that? Whilst I'm kind of inclined to agree with these people, Mega Evolution undeniably changed the game for Kangaskhan. Of course, on Mega Evolution, Kangaskhan gains the ability Parental Bond. What it effectively does is turns any damaging move into a 2-hit move. The first hit, of course, being the full amount of damage that that move could potentially do, and the second hit being 50% of that damage. So basically turns every move into 1.5 times damage. Of course, with Generation 7, that got buffed and it now only does 1/4 damage, but for certain moves, it still creates an overpowered Pokemon in the form of Mega Kangaskhan. The reason being is that when you do an attack that will boost one of Kangaskhan's stats as well as deal damage to your opponent, the fact that it hits twice means you get double the stat boosts. This means for moves like Power Up Punch that raise your attack stat every time you hit the opponent, you hit the opponent, your attack stat goes up, you hit the opponent again, your attack stat goes up again. On top of this, Kangaskhan does have decent bulk behind it, so you can make it a bulky Pokemon and just maximize its attack during a battle while your opponent can barely take you down. Number 9, Greninja. The reason Greninja gets into this list for me is because it makes me laugh at how stupidly overpowered this Pokemon is. And don't get it twisted, I'm not talking about Ash Greninja, I'm talking specifically about Greninja when it has the Protean ability. The Protean ability, of course, changes Greninja's type to the type of the move that it is using. So for example, if it uses Ice Beam, it will change from Water and Dark to an Ice type. Then you can use Hydro Pump and it will change back to a Water type. And of course, that results in it receiving a same type attack bonus on every single move it can possibly deal damage with. And that just makes it so much stronger when it already has really good special attack anyway. As well as that, it's insanely fast compared to a lot of Pokemon that people tend to use, which means that it's always pretty much going to move first. I don't like the Pokemon particularly, like it's not one of my favorites, but damn, you can't even deny that that's stupidly overpowered and it's so funny to see in action. Number 8, Regigigas. The first of a handful of legendaries that are going to be on this list. Regigigas, again, is just a funny Pokemon to me. Like, a lot of the Pokemon on this list are stupidly powerful, but this one just makes me laugh so much because of the power behind it and the fact that it can rarely use it. Regigigas, of course, has 160 base attack, which is a very high attack stat to have. But the downside to Regigigas is that it has the ability Slow Start. Slow Start is an ability that halves the attack stat and the speed stat of Regigigas for the first 5 turns of a battle. So ultimately, you have this huge hulking golem titan Pokemon with so much raw power behind it, and you can't even use it for the first 5 turns. That's why it's one of my favorites, is because it's so dumb. Number 7, Mega Alakazam. Now don't get me wrong, this is a Pokemon I don't like facing because it's such a fast and hard-hitting Pokemon. Mega Alakazam outspeeds things like Noivern that I love to use in my teams, and it just always absolutely annihilates me because I'm never prepared enough to face one. It's one of those Mega Evolutions that I always kind of forget exists until I'm facing one, and then I'm like, oh yeah, no, I remember this guy. Apart from looking absolutely amazing with the extra spoons, you know, good old Spoon Daddy Alakazam, it's just so powerful. It just hits so hard, and it hits in the blink of an eye before you can really formulate a strategy to go against it with. It's almost like a callback to Generation 1, where if you had an Alakazam in Generation 1, you were unstoppable. You were a killing machine. And Mega Alakazam? Well, it's just brought everything back full circle, hasn't it? Number 6, Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre. Now, I've been a bit cheeky with this one because it's a joint one, but both these Pokemon deserve to be on this list for the exact same reason. Although not seen so much in battle recently because they're banned from the current VGC format, back in 2016 these two Pokemon were the absolute essentials to any team. If you go back and look at VGC 2016, you will see that you do not get anywhere near a Pokemon VGC Championship without having either a Primal Groudon or a Primal Kyogre. Unless your name is Barry Anderson, because he was in the top 8 and he didn't have either of them. Cheers, Barry, you ruined my point. I feel like I honestly can't make a list of stupidly overpowered Pokemon without at least giving a nod to the faces of VGC 2016. Number 5, Mega Salamence. Salamence has always been a bit of a fan favourite Pokemon. In fact, if you ask a lot of people what their favourite Pokemon is, you will a lot of the time hear Salamence at least mentioned in the top 5. And when people heard that in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Salamence was getting a Mega Evolution, that was captivating. And not only this, but this absolute beast of a Pokemon gets bulked up and gets the aerialate ability that turns normal type moves into flying type moves, as well as boosting their power. So all of a sudden we had Salamence capable of delivering a double edge with stab behind it, the extra boost from the aerialate ability that is flying type, and just decimating the competition. Salamence went from being that one Pokemon that uses Outrage all the time until it wins, to being, uh-oh, wait, where is it? What's it gonna do? Oh no, uh-oh, whoa, wait, no. Are they gonna go with a normal type move like Double Edge or Return to really deal some flying type damage to you? Or are they going to go with the old school method and Outrage until they win? This is a Pokemon that keeps us on our toes, and for good reason. And again, so stupidly overpowered that you've got to show it some love. Number 4, Dialga. I've said before about how Dialga is one of my favourite legendary Pokemon, and one of the many reasons for this is the fact that it has just so many resistances. It's only weak to ground and fighting, and they're only 2 times weaknesses. This Pokemon has 9 resistances and 1 immunity, which is poison, and it has decent bulk as well. So with all that bulk and the resistances behind it, you got yourself a really, really powerful Pokemon. Not only that, but if it uses Roar of Time, which of course it gets same type attack bonus from, you're in for a bad time. And of course, with everything, it looks incredible. It's a giant steel encrusted dinosaur thing. It's absolutely beautiful to look at. Absolutely so much love for Dialga. I might be biased because after I went off Pokemon for a bit and came back into it, Diamond was the game I played and Dialga was the legendary that I obviously ultimately caught. But it's always got a special place in my heart as such a great Pokemon, and you can't deny this thing's stupidly overpowered. Number 3, Mega Mewtwo Y. Now the reason I've chosen Mega Mewtwo Y over Mega Mewtwo X is because Mega Mewtwo Y's special attack is higher than Mega Mewtwo X's attack, and also Mega Mewtwo Y gets the higher speed. This combined just creates a terrifying scenario for anyone facing up against this Psychic type Pokemon. Much in the vein of Mega Alakazam, this is just a ridiculous example of a Pokemon that is stupidly overpowered. It outspeeds so many things, and then when it does outspeed them, it's got base 194 special attack, which is the highest special attack that in the entirety of the current Pokedex. If you're getting hit by Mega Mewtwo Y, you are not surviving very long. This Pokemon will kill you where you stand. Number 2, Ultra Necrozma. With the fantastic typing of Psychic and Dragon, this Pokemon can be a hell of a difficult opponent to take down. It has great HP, defense, and special defense. It's got fantastic attack and special attack, and it has great speed as well. This Pokemon can be terribly difficult to take down. This Pokemon gave so many people problems when they were playing through Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because they'd get to Ultra Necrozma and they were not prepared. And I speak for those people because damn, that battle was hard. This Pokemon just possesses so much power, and it's absolutely stupid that this Pokemon can cause so many players across the world so many problems. On top of that, it just looks fantastically intimidating. Like the huge wings, the fact that its body parts aren't attached for some reason just makes it look awe-inspiring and terrifying all at the same time. It's a beautiful Pokemon, it's a fearsome Pokemon, and goddamn is it a stupidly powerful Pokemon. Number 1, Wobbuffet. Just hear me out. Wobbuffet is one of the most stupidly overpowered Pokemon in the entire Pokemon universe, and this is why. If your opponent's being cruel and put a focus sash on their Wobbuffet, if you try and one-hit KO this Pokemon, it will take any Pokemon down like that. Of course, for those who don't understand what I'm talking about, Wobbuffet gets both Counter and Miracle, and they're really the only two moves it has that can damage an opponent. But when it comes to Counter and Miracle, if Wobbuffet knows what type of move you're going to use, so if you're going to use a physical move, it's going to get Counter at the ready. If you're going to use a special move, it's going to get Miracle at the ready, and however much damage you deal to Wobbuffet, it will deal it straight back. Not only that, it'll do twice as much. Wobbuffet, without a doubt, is one of the most stupidly overpowered Pokemon in the Pokemon universe in the most unlikely packaging. And while it may not be a really viable VGC contender, while it may not be the Pokemon that you bring to battle on most days, and while it may not be a legendary Pokemon or a Mega Evolution, it is absolutely worthy of being in a list of stupidly overpowered Pokemon. And for me, it's my absolute favourite. So that's my list of my top 10 favourite stupidly overpowered Pokemon. Let me know in the comments what your favourite stupidly overpowered Pokemon are. Of course, if you did enjoy the video, hit the like button to show your appreciation. Let's see if we can get, what, like 100 likes on this video? And of course, follow me on Twitter for all my latest updates. Come and hang out in one of my Twitch streams. I'd love to see you guys there. And if you want to support the channel for as little as $1 a month, you can do so via Patreon. All the links you need are in the description below. And of course, as always, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.